Yes. It's steel.
But you can't be any geek off the street. Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean.
Keep it real.
Keeping it real.
Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Steven and this is Steel Keeping It Real. So you know what today is.
What we're gonna do right here is go back. Way back into time.
That's right, it is Throwback Thursday. And on this day I like to dig deep into the crates, go back to the days of yesteryear and play you some classic hits. Now after I just did The Boys Dial My Heart, I was thinking like, you know what is another boy band from back in the day that was really, really popular? And you can't deny that this group wasn't one of the original boy bands that started in like the 80s. We're not going to talk about, the Jacksons or the Osmonds or anything like that. We're talking about New Edition, and this song that I'm going to play is I'm Still in Love with You from their 1996 album Home Again. Now when it was Home Again, that's actually when Bobby Brown was brought back into the fray. So there was like 6 members of New Edition: Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, Mike, Ralph, and Johnny Gill. So that made 6 in there. And, they still had the production on this song of a Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, who they came back in when they did, the song If It Isn't Love, or that particular album that had If It Isn't Love and Can You Stand the Rain. So let's take a look at what this song did on the charts. And Lamo, it went to number 47 in Australia, number 13 in New Zealand, number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 7 on the US Dance Music Maxi Single Sales, number 7 on the US Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs, number 4 on the US Rhythmic Top 40, and number 16 on the US Top 40 Mainstream. That's a pretty good job considering that they hadn't done an album in a while. And again, it was the first time that they brought Bobby back into the fray. Back in the early, or like 89, 90 is when they did the last album together. They all went solo. Ralph did his songs, Johnny did his songs, and then Belle Biv DeVoe did their songs. And Bobby Brown had already been doing solo since the late 80s. So now that they all done solo, they're all coming back together again, and they put together a pretty decent album. So if you like videos like this and others on the channel, please don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification button, because I'm doing at least 10 videos each and every week. So without any further ado, here are New Edition and I'm Still in Love with You.
If you knew what I went through, if you knew how much I loved you, how much I still love you.
Still in love, baby. Listen. Oh, what can I do, girl? Much in love, girl, but your friends got you thinking, and it's affecting you. Don't listen, baby. What can I do, girl? So in love, girl. Wait for this moment. And I don't know what to do, 'cause I don't wanna lose you. No. What would I do without your love? Sent from above, so you don't believe what your friends tell you about me. I'm still the man for you, and I'm still the man that's true, and I'm so fast, babe. I wish it would last, babe. 'Cause I know in my heart that my life ends and starts with you, yeah. And baby, I know that this feeling I'm feeling just won't let me go. You know why? 'Cause you're the first true love I've ever known. So what would I do without your love? Baby, it's heaven sent from above. And I know that in my heart I'm the best for you. I'm still waiting for you. And I'm still the best. I'm still the man. I'm still saying, and I'm still in love with you. Don't matter what your friends do. Don't matter what they say you do. Don't matter. It just don't matter. The only thing that matters is that I'm still in love with you. Oh, what can I do to right this wrong? I know that it makes me happy to be in love with you. So I'm still the hey baby, and I'm still the darling. You're still the man, baby. Still the man. Oh yeah, we say it don't matter. Don't matter. Said it don't matter. Don't matter. I'll always. No one loves you like I love you. I still love you.
Yeah, I love my boys, man. Those were my dudes, because I'm only like maybe a year off of maybe some of them, at the most two, but I think I'm right around that same exact age. And when I'm watching them back in like 1983, 84, when Candy Girl got released and that whole album, I'm like, oh my God, it was about time that I had seen some type of representation, you know, of not only my race, but of my age out there in front of me on the screen. And I was hook, line, and sinker. It was almost like they were brothers to me, as much as I would see them on TV and I had their albums and things like that. And you know, I could tell you what, the album that they did before this, the Any Heartbreak, I played it out, and because that's a Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis thing. And back in the late 80s, you know, I had Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation and Control, and I had New Edition, and I had some other stuff that Alexander O'Neal. You know, I had a whole bunch of stuff that Jimmy Jamis and Terry Lewis did that I was very well satisfied at the time. SOS Band, there's another one that they did. So yeah, I love me some New Edition, and I love it when they do the ballads, because, you know, the girls love when New Edition do the ballads. And, you know, this was basically, they weren't dancing or anything else like that. They didn't need to, because their voices were conveying everything. And especially when you do have Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis producing the track, you know, the production quality is A1. So you don't have to worry about that. Basically, all they had to worry about was their own selves and their own voices. You know, Bobby Brown was just there, sitting, smoking a cigar, drinking, or whatever, because he didn't get a solo on this album. He might have gotten a couple of ad-libs, but harmonizing in certain places. But, you know, at the time when this album came out, Bobby Brown was more famous about what he was going through with Whitney Houston, that they were like, look, we're going to slowly bring you in, and, you know, we're going to take care of you, dude. You know, we're going to give you a little bit of credibility that you're with us, and none of us have our reputations tarnished. So maybe some of that will, you know, rub off on you about your deal with the drugs and Whitney and everything else like that, and the bad boy image. And he was allowed to keep some of that bad boy image, but it was very, very seriously toned down. And now Bobby Brown is still with New Edition and going out there. He ain't doing those moves like he did in Every Little Step You Take, because he's like my size now. He's big and chubby and well fed, and you can tell he ain't doing drugs because he's big and chubby, you know what I mean? So if you are still here, I thank you very much for staying tuned. I really do appreciate it. First and foremost, I want you guys to like the videos as much as I like making them for you. After that, all you need to do to help me out with the channel is to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Peace.